And a good Monday morning. This weather video is driven by 802cars.com, representing 802 Toyota Twin Cities Subaru and 802 Honda. They're all located off of exit 7 on Interstate 89. Looking at the world temperature anomalies. Running for the world about 0.4 of a degree above normal. Northern hemisphere just a half a degree. Southern hemisphere only 0.2 above normal. The Arctic is just 0.4 above normal, owing to the fact that we're seeing a little bit of cooling in some locations. The Antarctic was very, very cold and now is starting to change and warm up just a little bit, only at -3. The tropics running about 0.4 of a degree Celsius. The world about 0.4 of a degree warmer than the baseline average of 1979-2000. Utility threats for this period with this VELCO weather hazards outlook. We have a heat spike that's occurring today, Monday afternoon and evening. This will be followed by thunderstorms, some possibly strong, arriving early Tuesday morning, late overnight. These will be lasting through just about the entire day and into a portion of early Tuesday evening. Do see future heads up for details. Otherwise, that'll be followed by much lower humidity, a cooler Canadian air mass moving on in with a great stretch of dry, high summer weather. It'll start cool, then moderates into warmer temperatures really as we get toward late week and the weekend. The tropics are trending quiet. A dry stretch again may last through the end of next weekend, looking beyond this period, with more showers and thunderstorms returning along about Monday, July the 23rd. Dew point temperatures are shown here with some 70s that are going to be creeping in on a southwesterly wind, and it's going to be rather clammy, very oppressive for tonight. This will build through the day. We're also looking at some pretty good heat indices well into the 90s as it looks right now. Main weather issue here is with some showers and thunderstorms along a narrow band here of moisture. Secondary trough is going to be pushing in. This is all going to time out. We got what looks like a decent upper diffluence, and that means thunderstorm prone. All of this will be trending into New York and Vermont and New England. It looks like New Hampshire will have a bigger day than Vermont, with the timing of the day and the cold front marching on through a little bit later in the day. So Maine, New Hampshire, parts of southern New England, a little bit better, with eastern Vermont seeing stronger storms than western Vermont during the day on Tuesday. Here's a look at the GFS ensemble centered on Burlington, Vermont. So what we can see here is the spike on the timeline here. It's based off 0Z UTC. So we're looking at all of this working in overnight tonight, late overnight and into the morning hours, and some decent amounts of rainfall. This is the best opportunity we've seen in some time for much needed rainfall. It looks like a couple of the segments here kind of center on about a half inch, another one around 3/4 of an inch. The outliers go as high as 1.1 inch or so. It looks like the most likely amounts of precip here, at least centered on Burlington, looks like trying to approach 1 inch, maybe a little bit over a half an inch. So we'll see how this all works out. And you also notice a very dry stretch here with several days in a row, probably not until after next weekend, as it looks right now with the latest European modeling. Folks at the Weather Prediction Center going for a 7-day total of some pretty healthy amounts here, running about 1.5 inches. European has about an inch across this particular area, a little bit over that, but lesser amounts as you get into, say, central and southern Vermont. The hope is we can accrue some of this rainfall much needed. Okay, what you're looking at is the percent of normal precipitation for the county of Rutland in Vermont, and this is month to date, this being the 16th day. You can see how much has fallen, 76 hundredths compared to normal for this time of year, about 2.14. 30 days of this particular period, 3.07 has fallen, normal's 4.62. This is typically a pretty wet time of the year. We accrue a lot of heavy downpours from thunderstorm activity, various cold fronts and whatnot, but you can see that we're well below normal by these bars. So looking at the state and noticing that this is month to date, 30, 60, 3 months, 6 months, and total year to date, and then 365 days going back. And, of course, the water year. So you can see at Addison County, they've done a little bit better during this last month, but they're pretty below par, at least recently in the last 6 months or so. Look at some of the other counties. This is Bennington, probably the worst shape. Caledonia County, Northeast Kingdom, Chittenden County, very similar. Orange County, below par, but climbing. Orleans County has done a little bit more of a surplus here. Grand Isle County, along the northern tier regions, have seen more precipitation than central and southern Vermont. Lamoille County, you can see a little bit below par. This would be Orange County here, Orleans County here, Rutland County I just showed you. Washington County, we'll take a look at that. You can see that it's also below par. And then looking a little bit further off to the south, Windham County is hurting a bit, Windsor County the same. So it's really the northern tier areas that have seen enough precipitation that has finally accrued here, and that's basically right here, Chittenden County, Orleans, Franklin County rather, and across those northern areas, Orleans County just reaching close to par there. So this is why we need those much needed raindrops to saturate our soils. Now, pretty hot day today. This is again centered on Burlington. This is the temperature graphs. So tomorrow we're going to be held down in the 70s and maybe hit 80 in some locations, depending on whether you're in southern Vermont or northern Vermont. Probably much better chance southern Vermont. And then, of course, temperatures cool off and we moderate out and then build up slowly but surely. And it looks like we kind of level off. I don't see any stronger heat indices around the corner. This would be the next potential chance for some much-needed precipitation as we get into the early part of next week. So weighted this period, we have a spike today of super warmth, and then we cool off. So the net neutral comes in here near zero. No anomaly. 3 days later, we start to warm back up as temperatures ramp up toward this coming weekend. You can see anywhere from 3 to about 6 degrees above normal. Coolest to the south, warmest to the north. And lastly, in the tropics, really nothing going on. There is a little small circulation here off the coast of South Carolina. The remnants of Burl continue to truck on. It could catch just a little part of Newfoundland. That is about it, but otherwise we continue to see no real issues in terms of tropical cyclones over the next 5 days. Thanks for watching. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights.